I am excited to be here with you. In 15 years and with 6 kids, we've only had 3 sick care visits to the doctor, and none of my kids have been on antibiotics. Now that's saying a lot with all the things that we're, involved in, but I want to promise you in the next 30 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly, kind of take you behind the scenes of my daily rhythm and then what we do when someone does get sick, when something goes wrong, right? Like what are the actual things that I do? And so whether you're here live or you're watching the replay, I promise you're going to have a ton of value. And my journey began actually where I had been having chronic sinus infections and had been on rounds and rounds of antibiotics. And I was just doing the traditional thing, going to the doctor, being prescribed an antibiotic and taking it, and it seemed to help. But then I was right back in that cycle. And while this was happening, I was also having other challenges that I did not know they were connected to my immune system. So I was struggling with low mood and low energy. I was gaining weight. I had chronic migraines, and I just did not feel like myself and felt a little bit hopeless because I felt like this is going to continue. Like nothing's getting better. I'm just slapping Band-Aids on the problem. And that's kind of the cycle that I was in until I was introduced to a better way, a different way. And I tell you, I was totally skeptical. One day we were flying kites in a hayfield, and I had had allergies since I was 12. And my friend, she came up to me with an essential oil, and I'd never even heard of essential oils. Like now they're very popular and people are familiar with them. You don't have to be kind of in that, what I thought was fringy place, but I'd never heard of them. But I didn't have my medication. So she just put a couple drops on my finger, and then I rubbed it across the bridge of my nose. And within minutes, my allergies cleared up. And I was blown away. We laughed about it. We didn't know how it worked, but I remember going home and Googling essential oils. What are these things? How do they work? And then looking at the other health challenges that I was facing and thinking, well, I wonder if there's just something else that I could try, because what I'm doing with the migraines, where I was living on Diet Coke and Excedrin if I caught it soon enough, or else I was just out for a day or two and trying to take care of my kids, myself, my business. And so if you've been there, it's super frustrating, whether it's you're not feeling well or you have kids that aren't feeling well, and getting caught in that cycle, because oftentimes what we do is a Band-Aid approach where we're just slapping on a medication, which helps with the symptom, but it's not addressing the root cause of the problem while it gets bigger. And sometimes, and in my case with the antibiotics, it was really wreaking havoc on my immune system because it was destroying my gut. It was creating imbalances there, which were causing these other problems in my body and inflammation and stuff. And I didn't know it was related. It wasn't until I started doing things differently. So I want to just show you exactly what I'm doing. And if you have like questions, if there's specific things that you have challenges with in your home, with you personally or people that you know and love, please put that in the comments. I answer every single question that people have. I just want to give you what I know and what I've studied. And I have a background in business, but I'm also a certified health coach. And so, and I'm very evidence-based, like show me the proof, right? Whether that's because somebody's experienced something, like I tried this and it worked, or there's evidence, scientific evidence that these things work. And so here we go. The first thing that I want to share with you is our kind of daily rhythm. And we're not perfect at this. Okay, so I started using essential oils when just before my last 2 kids were born. I was having miscarriages and having like all these problems. Didn't know if I'd have more children. And I remember purchasing this package of oils from doTERRA, which was like the largest package I could get. I was super hopeful, had no idea what I was doing. And I just started diving in and experimenting. And within a couple of months, literally within a couple of months, the migraines had gone away. The chronic sinus infections had gone away and didn't come back. And my energy was up. I've had more motivation to move and to eat better, and just all these things just compounded. And so what I started with and what I found was addressing the symptoms, right? So those were the chronic sinus infections. So there were certain oils that I was using religiously for that, to help clear that up. But then I was also addressing more of a root cause from a nutritional standpoint, making sure that my body was getting exactly what it needed, trying to get rid of the things that it didn't need. But changing your diet can be hard. And so actually what I did is I started taking some really good supplements. And so it's like this 2-minute morning routine where now I just mix it's greens, vitamins and minerals it's a really yummy drink. I just mix that up. And then I take a couple of omega supplements. And this is just my little case. This is my routine. So every morning I mix that drink up and I take my omegas and my probiotics, because that, like, 90% of your immune system is in your gut. So we want to take care of that, whether that's you or for your kids. And my kids, they're not super religiously consistent on this, but when things are going around at school, they are. But this is just a powder. It's super yummy, PB Restore. This helps to strengthen your gut so that your immune system can do what it's meant to do. And that's really what I believe. I believe our bodies were created, like God created something pretty powerful. He knew that all these crazy things would be going on, that our bodies have an amazing ability to take care of those things that come up for us. We just need to give it what it needs and strengthen it and not do things that are going to harm it, right? Okay, so that's my morning routine, literally, is what I do. And then I have an evening routine, because I believe our sleep and our rest is just as important as the nutrients and the things that we're doing to strengthen our body. Our bodies need time to rest, to digest, to repair, and that's during the night. And so if you have a hard time sleeping, one of the things that I love is being able to diffuse. If you don't have a diffuser, I don't have my one right here. This is a really cool one that doTERRA has right now, limited time, that is a motion censored one. I'll turn it on for you. And it just shoots it out. So it's like filling the air, and then it will shut off, and then it's motion censored from there. So it won't go off unless there's some kind of movement in the room. But having this on your nightstand is really impactful. So my kids have diffusers in their rooms, a routine of just having some water there in a water bottle so they can fill up the diffuser, put a couple of drops in, and it helps to settle things. My daughter has a little spray that she uses, and she'll like spray her bed and spray her pillow and her clothes. And so she's smelling this beautiful lavender smell, which evidence has shown that it helps to calm the brain. And it's very fast and impactful. So those of anything else, of anything like that routine, a morning routine where we're making sure we're getting what our bodies need and that we're sleeping really well, that can help boost our immune system. But also knowing things are going to come up, right? There's going to be times when you don't get the sleep, where your immune system is kind of lacking. It's been being bombarded, right? Or maybe we have a lot of stress in our life. So that's also creating our immune system not to be working as well as it could. So I want to go over some of the things that we do in our home when things come up. So some of the top things that we use. Number one, like ear infections. Like, what do you do for an ear infection? Before essential oils, I would be like, oh, should I take my kids? Oh my gosh, I have these other ones. Do I need to, get a babysitter? It was just a hassle. And then going in, no, they're just going to give you an antibiotic. They're going to have to drink this pink stuff and get them to take it. And it's going to upset their stomach and all that. So now, since starting using essential oils, our routine is we use lavender and tea tree oil. And if you get a cotton ball, you can put a couple of drops on there. Just take that little piece and you'll stick it in the ear, right? Not shove it down in there. Those aromatic compounds from the oils will travel down into the ear canal, and they are phenomenal at helping to soothe, but also helping to strengthen and fight off what's going on in there. You can also take a little extra, and with kids especially, I like to dilute. So I don't have my fractionated coconut oil or just some kind of unscented lotion. So if you put a couple of drops in your hand and then some kind of lotion or something, we just kind of rub that and we'll put it around the ears. Now, if it's something that you deal with a lot, then you can actually mix up a special bottle of that concoction. So you're not always having to open several bottles of things and then use it. You can just label it. I'm a ghetto labeler. I will put, I'll just write on a piece of paper and then take a piece of tape and write over it. That's my way of labeling things around here, because there's just so much going on. I don't have time for pretty. Okay, so earaches, that's the one. And then kind of the up level for that is I made these. There's actually wheat in here, but you can make rice packs. So if you have rice and maybe an an old sock or something, you can just tie off the end, put rice in it, and then you put this in the microwave and just warm it up. You'll have to see, with the size of it, how long it should be comfortable to the touch, but that heat, if you then put it on your ear, it will drive those oils in more. Plus, it's very soothing when you have some type of ear infection. Okay, so that's ears. For your throat, this is kind of the concoction that we love. And I have this sitting in our kitchen because it's just the one that we go to if we ever feel something coming on, whether it's in our throat or we just know like something's off. I've been around people who are sick. And so it's lemon, frankincense, on guard, oregano, and tea tree. And there's these little cap stickers, put them on. Again, you could just write your own little label with tape. And it's a dropper bottle, so it makes it really easy. And then a few different ways that we use this. So if your nose is congested or your throat is kind of itchy, scratchy, hurting, then fill up a mug of water, put it in the microwave until it's steaming, and then put a couple of drops of this concoction in. And I also then, at this point, I will add a couple drops of Breathe essential oil. This is a respiratory blend, so I'll put a couple of drops of that separately. I'll tell you why I have these separate. But I'll put that in, and then you're going to breathe it in like this. So it's getting down in your throat, but then also you can breathe through your nose. And if you have one that's kind of clogged, you switch back and forth where you're breathing that in. It really helps to break things up, kill whatever, and support like that respiration going on. Why I don't put Breathe in is because I sometimes use this internally, and Breathe is not an oil that we use internally. So I have this mixed up. So if we ever want to put it in a veggie cap and take that capsule, we can do that. Or if you get like some warm water and put salt in there and then put a couple of drops in this. This is great for gargling. So then I'll have my kids know the routine, like, okay, how many times, Mom? And so what they do is they gargle and they spit and gargle and spit. If I don't put the salt in there, then they know on the last one, they swallow. So it's gargle, spit, and then they swallow. But that is the routine. And here's the thing, like, it doesn't taste good, but if kids are doing it, even though it doesn't taste good and there's not a fight over it, it works. It works really, really well. Okay, so that's your throat. Somebody else mentioned coughs. So kind of the same thing with this. On Guard essential oil is the protective blend from doTERRA. And so this one is a great one for those coughs, depending on what it is. So you can put a couple drops under your tongue, just let it sit there a little bit, and then kind of swish it back with some water. We also have these On Guard beadlets. So, I don't have it open. In fact, I'm starting to cough right now. So these beadlets, it's about a third of a drop of essential oil. So you can see that little thing. And you can either put it in your mouth and pop it or just swallow it. If you're wanting it for your throat, then pop it. If it's more for like supporting your immune system, then you can just swallow it. And this is something that my kids will take in their backpacks. If, they've had something going on, they just have stuff to use on the go and they're trained in it. They know how to use these. Use that. The other thing with On Guard, so this is one that I actually have sitting in my bathroom, especially during like the winter season. And I personally will put a couple of drops just under my tongue in the morning, just as my normal routine. I see it sitting there, put a couple of drops, and then at night, again, just as a protective barrier, because I know like my kids bring home stuff or whoever I'm around, like you're just going to get exposed to things. Okay. So for the cough, the On Guard, you can also rub it on the outside as well. And marjoram is a great one for coughs. You can rub it on your chest, the Breathe. It really just depends on what, the underlying reason for that cough. Okay, fevers. So when fevers come up, this is our go-to. It's so simple. It used to be, I was the drug queen, right? Like I would use a lot of medications. I'd give my kids the Tylenol or the whatever. Like I didn't want them to suffer. And that's what I was trained to do. But this is way better and way safer. So peppermint essential oil. It's the chemical constituents in peppermint naturally are what's called vasodilators. So the menthol in there will help open up those blood vessels. So you're getting more oxygen in there and it naturally will cool the body. Now fevers, what we're learning are a good thing, because it's a trigger to your immune system to start fighting off things, and you don't want to like get rid of it, and you don't want to like mask that you have a fever and you're not doing well, because when you have a fever, it helps you kind of slow down. It's like you telling like, oh, I have something. I need to give my body what it needs so that it can fight this off. But if we're taking things that are masking it, then we just keep going, and then all of a sudden you like crash, right? So peppermint doesn't do that. And I generally will just put a couple of drops like on the back of the neck, down the spine, on the bottom of the feet. And you can measure this, like get a thermometer and measure it. It works really fast and really good. So that's one that I use for fevers. And the nice thing is that it's not like a medication where I have to wait 4 to 6, 8 hours and I can't take, these things with these things. Like there's the interactions with that you don't have to worry about that. I would just say dilute it. And the smaller the child, the less you need. So if it's a baby, yes, I use oils on my babies. And it was a totally different experience than when I was the mom without that, because I was I'm not sure if I'm doing the right thing. Do I need to go to the doctor all the time? And then when I learned like, no, I have power right in my home. Like these things work. And they're safer and better for my kids. And I want them learning these things as they grow up, instead of not feeling confident in their abilities to figure out what's going on in their bodies. So small babies, maybe just touch the top of that, and you can rub it on the bottom of their feet with a little bit of fractionated coconut oil. And then as you get bigger, then more drops you can use. And you can apply like frequently. So whenever you're dealing with something that is a chronic thing, like it comes up and it's going to go away. I mean, it's a cute thing. It's going to go away. Like when you're sick, it's going to go away. Some people have like chronic things. Chronic things are the things where you want to just set up a routine to take care of things every day. So like if you have a compromised immune system, then you might be using On Guard on a daily basis, morning and night, as the routine that you're using to support your immune system. If you're, generally healthy, but then when things come up, it's flu season, it's, stuff is going around, that's when you want to stay on top of it. And you can do preventative measures, but you can also, when things happen, just use it more frequently. So you could put this bottle of On Guard in your pocket, or the beadlets in your pocket, and take it with you, so that you're, take that every couple hours, right? Okay, so another thing that has been super helpful for me as a mom, way empowering, is called the Aroma Touch Massage. And I will link up in the description how to do this. But it's a series of oils, and I have this kind of case right here. And everyone knows this is the I need a massage case. So when my kids aren't feeling well, like maybe they have a fever, or maybe, you can tell they're sick. It's that time of the month, headaches, stuffy nose, whatever it is. And I know when they ask for a massage, like they don't feel good. So they will lay down. We just pull their shirt up. So it's just their back and their feet is all that you massage on this. And there's a series of 8 different oils that you use. And it feels really good for them as far as like the massage. And it's not it's a very light massage or medium massage, depending on who you're massaging. And you just do these series of, put some oils on, and then you do this massage, and then you put the next oil on, and then you do the massage. And you do that with those 6 oils, and then you do your feet, couple on your feet, and then you finish on the back. And generally they are laying there drooling, can sleep, get some rest. The room smells like amazingness. And it's helping to boost their immune system. So it helps them to sleep, to de-stress, to boost their immune system. If they're experiencing any kind of pain or inflammation, it helps to reduce that and helps to create homeostasis, balance within their body. It is a superpower to have this in your home and to be able to contribute in that way to the health of your family. So learning it is such a blessing, but it's also nice to have somebody else in your home to be able to do that to you when you need it. So even my 12-year-old, before, like several years ago, she started doing this. I would just lay out the oils for her, and she would just do the massage. It's really that easy. But think Aroma Touch massage. And to go out and get a massage and schedule that and pay for that, it's like $50, $100, $150, depending on where you live. This, you buy the kit and it lasts a long time. just getting those 8 oils and being able to do that. It's such a beautiful gift of service that you can give. Okay. Another thing that is super helpful is a bath. So a detox bath, I like to use Epsom salts. Most people do, but I actually like these magnesium flakes better. If anybody wants to know where I get them, these are phenomenal. Most of us are deficient in magnesium, and especially when we are dealing with health things, we want to make sure we're getting enough. And this is another way of getting it. So we can get it like internally by consuming, but being able to absorb it through your largest organ, which is your skin, is a really good way to do that, and is very calming to be able to take the bath. So I will just take a handful of those flakes, and then I will put in some of my immune boosting oils. So like the tea tree and the lavender for calming. I'll put in copaiba is another really great one to put in your bath. I do not put oregano in there. I don't put on guard in there because they're hot, spicy, like think jalapeno, and you're putting hot water, and that could just make it a little bit too intense. But the tea tree, the lavender, the copaiba are ones that I would stick in the bath. Super calming. But I put them in the salts, let them kind of absorb into the salts, and then we'll put them in the water. And the reason why is because, oil and water don't mix, and you don't want just the oil sitting on the top of the water. You want them to actually disperse through there. And so that's also what the magnesium salt flakes will do for that. And then I say, stay in there 10, 15, 20 minutes for your bath. So that's another thing that can be super helpful during the season. Now, just a couple more things. And if you have any questions specifically as things that you are dealing with that you want, what would you do for this? Go ahead and ask me. Okay. I have something that just discovered this in the past year. And this has been really, really awesome for supporting your immune system, but other things as well. Glowing skin, great for your joints, great for your muscles, great for your metabolism, great for energy. And it's the glow up drink. And so all it consists of are these 3 things. And my kids crave it. They're like, can I please have that? And especially when they're not feeling well, can I please have that? It is a package of electrolytes. So these are doTERRA's MetaPower Recharge. So you want to make sure that you're getting enough electrolytes. If you do research, most people are missing a lot of the electrolytes and minerals that our bodies need in order to function optimally. So you're getting a super boost of them in this drink. And then this is a powdered probiotic. So you're sticking that in there, supporting your gut health, boosting your immune system, and it tastes really good. It tastes like candy, but there's no sugar in it. And then this is called MetaPower Advantage. So this is collagen, all different types. So not just for your skin, but for your joints and for different parts of your body that need collagen. And then it has something called NMN. And this is something that will help you to create metabolic energy. So it helps with the little engines in your cells, the mitochondria, to produce more energy. So oftentimes we get sick is because we're depleted somewhere, right? Maybe we're stressed, maybe we're tired, we're not eating right. These things going on, it's depleting us. And so we're kind of susceptible to getting things. And then when we do get things, they're worse than they really need to be. So this can help with that metabolic energy that we need to run like a well-oiled machine. So put those 3 together in a shaker bottle or just mix it up. Just some water. Oh my gosh, it tastes like heaven. It's the glow up drink. So that is kind of like a super tip, super user tip. And then the last thing, two other things before we go. Diffuser. Absolutely one of the best ways to support your immune system. Whether it's because you're putting things in there to help with stress, because when we are stressed, when our cortisol levels are high, our immune system is being depleted. We're putting energy somewhere else. And so oftentimes that's when we get sick, is when we're highly stressed, right? And we're going, and we're not taking care of ourselves. So there are essential oils that are great for just kind of calming, de-stressing. There's lavender for the sleep is what I use that for. But I really love copaiba, and there's one called Adaptive, and I don't have it here. And that is great to just be able to put in your diffuser, maybe get home from work, you fill that up, or in the morning, it might be a little chaos and stress, or at night, you have this night routine, or it's during time when you're doing homework or focused work, you're just feeling that stress. It is great to get into a routine. I have several diffusers. If you have to just buy the cheap ones, you can check out my diffuser review. I'll put my link down next Wednesday. I have my 2026 diffuser review coming out. But I'll put the link of my favorite diffusers, and there's some really inexpensive ones that you can get on Amazon. Diffusers, it's the oils that you put in them that are the power, but being able to use a diffuser, have several around the house. I like these little censored ones. I have plug-in ones. They're all over. So we're constantly getting these puffs of things that are either de-stressing, or they help boost our immune system, or they just smell good and they put you in a happy mood, right? So diffusers are super powerful to be able to have as a tool in your home. And then the last thing, and this might be something you don't really think about, and it actually comes in two things. One is like good hygiene. So like one of the biggest things that we could do and teach our kids to do is to wash our hands and not touch our faces. Like, I know it seems dumb, but it's true. Like most of the things that we contract aren't necessarily airborne is because we've been touching things, and then we touch our faces. Our kids like lick their fingers, like just getting out of the habit of that. Or we're using things that destroy the barrier, because we have natural barriers on our hands. Like, God made us amazing. But we use like those alcohol, even Lysol, like these chemicals that destroy that barrier, and chemicals in our home that can help like create toxic environments that are harmful for our immune system. So just thinking of like little things like that you can start getting rid of those toxins will over time pay off with huge dividends. So just one little thing that you could do is replace like whatever soap you're using for washing your hands. Usually it's pretty harsh. I love the On Guard foaming hand wash. So these are in all of our bathrooms, and it's using the On Guard oil. And so it helps with germs, but also helps boost your immune system. It doesn't dry your hands out, but it's also not going to destroy that protective barrier that's naturally on your hands. The other thing is your mouth. So a lot of times the germs come in through our mouth. And what's really cool is dentists, not all dentists do this yet, but most dentists who are pretty smart, they can do a test while they're doing like an exam to see what kind of bacteria is in your mouth. And that is a huge, can detect like where you're at with your immune system. It also, if you're more likely to get cavities. And so they can just do a swab right when you're in the office to see what kind of bacteria is in your mouth. And there should be good bacteria that is helping to prevent cavities and helping to boost your immune system. But if you're not having that, oftentimes it's because of the toothpaste that we're using, the harsh toothpaste. It might be because of our diet, the things that we're consuming, very acidic. So just be aware of that. One of the things that has been huge for us, and what's cool, is being able to see the difference, because before I started using, it was the On Guard toothpaste, which it's natural whitening and remineralizing. So it has what's called hydroxyapatite in there, which actually can help remineralize your teeth and strengthen your teeth, but also helps to create a healthy balance of good bacteria in your mouth. So again, just a little thing that you can do to help boost your immune system, your kid's immune system. This is nice also because it's safe. It's not like the toothpaste where if you read the back of it, it says don't consume more than like a pea size. And if you do, call 911, call poison control. Like, oh my gosh, we're giving this. And the dentists are giving these things out as samples. This is so crazy. And they make it taste like candy. So kids are wanting to swallow it anyway. So that's just another very simple thing that you can do. And so it's not just one thing. It's not just, okay, well, when I get sick, I'm going to take this, because that's very traditional American. It's not healthcare, it's sick care. It's really putting out the fires when they come, and it's not addressing the root cause. So yes, we have essential oils that can help with those symptoms when they come up, right? You don't feel well, you have a fever, you have an ear infection, you have something going on, you have a stomach ache, right? We have things that can address that, but it's more of the lifestyle shift that will create the long-term healthy person, supporting the whole human body in what it's been made to do, and supporting it. And so instead of giving it too much of the wrong stuff and not enough of the right things, it's starting to just make one little change. And so whether that's, okay, I'm going to start switching out my medicine cabinet. And that's what I chose to do. I just got like the top 10, 15 oils that doTERRA had in this kit. It came with a diffuser. It came with some supplements. I'm like, I'm just going to try this out. I mean, what's the worst case scenario? And what I loved about the supplements is they had a 30-day money back guarantee, that if you didn't like experience something different, you could return them, get all your money back. How many doctors, how many prescriptions, how many medications do that? They don't. Like if it doesn't work, you just wasted your money. Let's try giving you another one. So that's super frustrating. Okay. So with that being said, I put down in the description, my essential oils guidebook. In there has a lot of these different recipes to help you get started. If there's things that I haven't covered, please mention that in the comments. I would love to answer any questions that you have and help you to know what to use. And whenever I get stuck, I used to look it up. I have several essential oils books and I have like an essential oil app, but I actually have a custom chat bot that I trained, which has all of these testimonials and things and research backed. So if it's like, oh, I have this cough and I've tried these things, you can actually ask it. Okay, I have a cough. I've tried these different things. It hasn't worked. What else could I try? It gives some amazing stuff that we can use. And it's data driven, right? And experience driven. So I really like that. Let me see. Anything else to cover before we head off? I did put down in the description as well my DIY perfume recipes, because I know a lot of people use like fragrance. They want to smell good. But again, that is harmful for your immune system. It's harmful for your thyroid. They're endocrine disruptors. So really going to mess up your hormones. Not just women's hormones, we're thinking like estrogen and progesterone, but like your thyroid hormones, cortisol levels, all of that. And so those are down there as well. And if you want to be part of our community where we engage one another, we have different trainings and resources for using essential oils, you're welcome to join us. Free community. That is also down in the description. And I would love for you to drop a comment and personally respond. Like, if you're using essential oils, what's your favorite? What's been most helpful? Like, please share with others so they see the power that they can be in our homes, transforming the way that we take care of our health and our family, and really making it super easy and simple. Like, this might seem overwhelming at first, but now I'm like, I have all this stuff right here. Like, I don't have to be guessing, do I need to go to the doctor? And then what are they going to give me? And then is it going to work? How long am I going to take this? Is it going to have side effects? I don't have to worry about that. And of course, if something comes up that is so major that I need to go, then I'm going to. Like, I believe what that system is for, not like our first thing every time something comes up and that we feel such a lack of confidence in our own abilities and our own tuition and the tools that we have available to us to actually take care of ourselves. I just think that is a huge disservice that we're doing in our homes, in our families, as we raise our children, if that's how we're raising them. And of course, I live in America, so we can, do it how we want to do it. And if that's the way that people choose to do it, that's absolutely fine. But I have just found for myself and my family, this has been a much better way more confidence. And the proof is in the pudding. 15 years of doing things differently. These little switches, and 3 times sick care. One of them, my son had an ear infection, and we were doing things, but it just wasn't getting better. So we took him in. Again, they prescribed an antibiotic, and we were just reading all the stuff on it. And one of the things said death, and he looked at me and was like, am I gonna die? I'm like, no. But he opted not to take that just because we started seeing things shift for him. Anyway, love you guys. Hope you have a wonderful day. Any questions, please put them in the comments, and I would love to respond to those.